Welcome back, everybody. Here is part 2 of my footprints or footsteps on the beach tumbler. So the first one, hopefully you guys watched that. I showed you how to glitter the cup, so the basic colors that I used, and the ombre from light into dark teal with the section of the beach in the front. So I'm back. We are going to do the footprints today and add a couple little decals, and then I'm also going to show you how to do the waves. So right now I have 2 cups that are in progress. I'm not really sure which way I like to do it yet, so I'm doing it both ways so that you guys can see and then you can make your own decision. So when I first made this cup, and I don't have it finished because I actually just sent that one out, when I first made this cup, I did the footprints and the seashells and the starfish first, and then I put the alcohol ink waves over top. So I decided to try it a little bit differently, and I did the waves first, and then I'm going to put the footprints. So I have one version that already, you can see, already has the waves, and then this version does not have the waves yet. So this particular order wanted part of the footprints on the beach verse on the back, and her name as well on the front. And so that's what I have here. So we're going to add the footprints. I'll show you how I do that as well. The first time I did this cup, I cut out vinyl, and before I weeded everything, I Mod Podged glitter over top of it, let it dry really well, sealed it a few times, and then I weeded the outer portion of the vinyl away. So I was left with just the little footprints still on the piece of vinyl paper. That was a pain because then I had to take every little piece of the footprint, every little toe was separate, and I had to place them on the cup because the glitter doesn't stick to the transfer paper. So I posted this in a group, and somebody gave me an awesome idea to, I don't know if you can see this, but use stencil vinyl and paint with the Mod Podge and the glitter over top and then peel it off. So we're going to try that, and I hope it works. So I'm only going to do one at first just to make sure I don't mess everything up. Now if you do mess it up because it's Mod Podge, you can just wipe it right off and it'll be fine. So I'm going to actually try it with the one that doesn't have the waves yet because that'll be easier to wipe off than the one that has all of the vinyl and everything already down. So you place the footprints first, and then I have these cute little, I have some seashells, and I cut out some little starfish. With the starfish, I'm going to take a little tiny white paint on the tip of my paintbrush and make little dots all over it as well to make it kind of look a little bit more like a starfish. So let's try it. I'm going to tilt you down a little bit. Hopefully you can see. All right, so here it is. And actually I'm going to do it a little bit further. Hopefully my computer doesn't fall. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the vinyl and I'm going to stick it onto my cup. So we're trying something new here, guys. So if it doesn't work, then I'll show you the other way, but I think it's really going to be awesome. So yes, and it's a perfect size. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to look here. All right, perfect. Okay. So I'm going to press it down nice and smooth. Okie dokie. Let's cross our fingers. With this stencil vinyl, I guess you could use removable too. It would probably be a little bit easier to see because I'm looking at it right now and I'm like hoping that I get all of the footprints right. So I'm going to come in with It's Pecan by Peachy Olive Glitter, and I'm going to use Mod Podge. So I'm just going to paint on a very nice little thin layer of Mod Podge and then sprinkle my glitter on top. So let's see let's see what happens. So I'm going to make sure that every little piece is really pressed down first so that it doesn't leak underneath. Think we're good. Another thing too, oh, it's much easier to see when you put the Mod Podge over it. Another thing too that might help is if you want to cut the little stencil vinyl in smaller pieces and place it by each footprint, you might have a little bit more of an control over where each footprint will go. And then I think if it doesn't work exactly the way I want it to, I'm still going to go in and I'm going to fix it with like a thin little paintbrush. So I have it Mod Podged. Let's glitter it. Oh, I hope it works. Whoops, I'm sticking to my paper. Okay, here we go. Hopefully. And I bought this new glitter. I used like a random brown glitter last time that was not peachy olive because I didn't have the color that I really wanted, but I think I found one finally by Peachy Olive that's going to show up pretty nicely. Okay, so it looks like, I know it doesn't look like much yet, but I covered the footprints. Let's see, did it work? Oh yes, look how cute. Each little footprint. Awesome. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to just peel this really slowly. I'll show you what it looks like in a second, guys. I actually think I like this color better than the one that I used originally, so hey. Alright. Now, of course, I'm going to let this dry completely before. So the footprints themselves, you don't want them to be like super obvious, just enough to make it look like, you know, you're walking on the sand. So let me just pull you back up just to make sure because I can't see. All right. So do you see these little, barely there, and trust me, like this window makes it really hard to see, but you can definitely, like when you're looking at the cup, you can really see the footprints for sure. All right, so what I'm noticing is that all of the toes are there except for like maybe one little spot. So I'm going to come in with a really thin little paintbrush if I can find one. Of course, I have like a bajillion paintbrushes. Here we go. Okay. So I'm just going to come in really small little paintbrush here, and I'm going to make sure your paintbrush isn't wet because then it's going to make a glob. Alright, and I'm just going to draw like a little toe. Yeah. Little toe. Little toe. Alright, perfect. Excuse my... I always put my paintbrush in my mouth. It's probably gross. Alright. So after that dries, I'm going to then brush it off because, you know, there's a little bit of excess glitter. Anytime you epoxy something and then you put glitter over top of it, I always feel like it's really hard to get the glitter off of the epoxy. So the next time I'm going to do this, which I'm going to do this with the other one because it worked beautifully, I'm going to make sure that I really press down on like everything. So 1 second. Put this glitter. I ran out of printer paper, so I'm using like my little fancy scrapbooking paper, but that's okay. That's alright. They're pretty cheap. Okay, so same thing. Taking the cup, I'm going to use a new piece of transfer tape, or not transfer tape, vinyl stencil, and I'm going to place it on the cup. Okay. So let's see. And I'm going to do this one more slowly this time, guys, because I really want to make sure that it goes... This has like a much smaller, because I already put the waves, it has a smaller area for where I want to put the footprints. So actually what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the pieces separately. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me grab a pair of scissors before I do that. 1 sec. Alright, so I'm just going to cut them and then reposition where I would like them to go so that it's 100% perfect. Okay, so there's one piece. Can you see that? Hopefully. Oh, closer to me. There we go. One piece. And then look to see where the footprints are. I'm going to place another pair. Really pressing down. Now this one wants to lay exactly where I need it to. I think it's just the beginning of that curve before it really starts to taper. But after it starts to taper, you're kind of like golden. All right, perfect. Okie doke. Pressing down really carefully where I want. And actually, I have one extra footprint that I think that I can fit. So let me just see this really quick. Yes. All right. So here it is with the stencil. And press down, press down, press down. Make sure that all of the little sides are not leaking. I had a little bit of overflow on my other one, which is fine because Mod Podge dries clear, so it's not like the glitter went anywhere it was not supposed to, but this time I'm really going to take some time and press it down. Okay. So let's go back in with my paintbrush. And Mod Podge it. All of the little toes. The pinky toes. So I found the footprints. I guess I should have said this. I found the footprints on Cricut, like the little preloaded. I mean, I pay for Cricut Access. So there was like a little footprint that I really liked that I uploaded as a picture, or not uploaded, but I used as one of the pictures. And so I really want to stick the paintbrush into the little toes to make sure every little hole on this transfer vinyl gets covered. And same thing, I have, I think, yeah, one more. All right. One little toe. All right. Here it is so far. And we're gonna glitter it. And I'm just doing it pretty lightly. You can also like tap down gently on the spaces that your footprints are to make sure that you cover everything that you need to. I think that might have been what I should have done the first time too. So I'm glad that I had 2 cups to try this on, because then I, can fix. They're not mistakes, but when you make a cup, there's always a couple times that you have to make it before everything's perfect. And that's okay. All right. So I do have a little bit of like excess brown glitter that kind of made its way over onto. Okay. So let me let that sit for a second and put my glitter back in. So this is a perfect cup for like a memorial for somebody too. If you like lost somebody, I got a couple people that reached out to me about that, which I thought was really nice. All right, so I'm peeling slowly. There's one piece. Got the other little corner here. Same thing. So yeah, this worked a little bit better because I got every single toe this time. Every single toe. Oh, yes. front piece. Perfect. All right. There it is. So I'm going to let this dry, and I'll come back in a sec.